Today I'm speaking with Michele Jennings, CEO of Glue, PPS' newly launched division that aims to extend the benefits of mutuality to a broader South African market. Glue is built on the same principles that have made PPS successful, but with a unique approach tailored to a different target audience. We'll be diving into what sets Glue apart, its product offerings, and how it plans to make an impact in the market. Hi, Michele, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really enjoying the conversation.
Yes, I am very much looking forward to our chat. So, Glue is an entirely new business unit under PPS. What made you think of that? How did it start? Just give us a little bit of background around the idea of it starting, and maybe a little bit more about the business itself.
Yeah, perfect, Rianet. So the idea apparently started during COVID, when the current and the former CEO of PPS had a conversation around how it would be so incredible if they could have had more mutuals in South Africa who really were out there to look after the members and really focus on looking for reasons to pay claims rather than reasons to not pay claims. And they thought, jeepers, there's a shortage of mutuals in South Africa. So what could they do to extend mutuality to more people? And that was way back in 2020. And it took a couple of years to get this concept through the board. And I joined the group then in 2023, in March of 2023. It actually takes longer than one thinks to build an insurance business from scratch. And so in that time, we did the research. We, looked for the right systems that we wanted to build for the business, exactly what the structure needed to be, and really started to build the whole idea from there. So it's actually been in the works for quite a few years and only managed to launch now in at the end of January.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So, it is mostly advisors listening to our interviews, but maybe for those who do not know what mutuality means, maybe you can just quickly enlighten that audience.
Certainly. So I find that people who've never been in a mutual or who have never worked with a mutual really don't understand what it
Yeah.
is. So I've tried to find a way to explain it in a simple way. And I think I try and think of it as a community of like-minded people who are a part of this business in either a policyholder or a stakeholder role. The intention is mutual benefit, so shared prosperity for all of the people involved. In South Africa, we've got a term that we refer to as Ubuntu. And for me, mutuality is close to Ubuntu. And to take it a step further, if you want to equate it to something financial, then probably a stokvel is the next closest thing. So stokvel is people who all invest together for the benefits of something that they've agreed to collectively. We've come up with this term that we refer to financial togetherness. And that's our way of trying to convey what we mean by mutuality. I hope that people understand that when we say financial togetherness, that's what we mean by it.
Yeah, no, I love the mutuality concept. I think it makes so much sense. And well done to PPS for extending this to a wider audience. Before I go into my next question, where I wanted to ask about the fact that Glue is all about tech and there is a gap potentially or not, please just enlighten the audience on how tech-driven you actually are.
So that was our mandate right from the start. We knew that in South Africa, there are a host of legacy insurance businesses and they'll all operate in a particular way, but there's costs and inefficiencies that come with those legacy systems. And so we wanted to do something that is future fit. We researched extensively to look for the right platform that is cloud-based, that enables us to look for innovative solutions that can plug into what we call the PAS, the product administration system. And we were very lucky that we managed to find a great partner. I won't mention any names, but a partner that is able to allow us to do that. So it's modular, flexible. We can get things done really, really quickly. If we want to implement a change, we've got a lot of control over that ourselves. So we think that we found something that really works for us. They're also very open to linking other systems. And these days they talk about APIs, which is supposed to be this quick way of being able to connect to any other sort of technology and integrate the systems. And they're very happy for us to explore pretty wild new things to see if we can bring that into the system as well. So it was intentionally done. But I suppose linking back to what you were asking earlier about digital and, perhaps there's a gap there. We're also very aware that in South Africa, people are frustrated by the fact that some insurers have moved to be so digital that they've lost the human touch. So we said we wanted to be digital, but with heart. So that's our difference. We want to have this blend of digital being computer and human when a person needs it, or chooses to use human rather than the digital side of things. The two should complement each other as opposed to, just forcing people down one road where they're actually uncomfortable. Some people don't like talking to a person and they want to do everything themselves digitally as well. And for others, it's the other way around.
Yeah. I've asked the question at the launch, and maybe I'll touch on that again. We were introduced to Glue on how amazing the tech works. So there's two angles to this. Maybe I should ask my second question first. No, I'm going to ask first. Brokers.
Okay.
Do you work mainly through brokers, or is there a combination of broker and direct?
So we are only through brokers at this stage, Rianet. We are using the PPS distribution channels. That's the advantage of being a division of the PPS group, is that we immediately have access to those distribution channels. They have what they refer to as an agency force, internal distribution, as well as external distribution, where they deal with the independent financial advisors. So we're making use and leaning into PPS for the support there. We're also building our own broker consultants team, which we have a national footprint with. And those individuals are working on bringing new brokers to the business, those that don't know PPS and don't know about mutuality, to try and share this good message with them. And hopefully that is to the benefit of both businesses. There are people within that network that would be professionals and would meet the eligibility criteria of PPS, and vice versa. There's people in the PPS distribution network that don't meet the eligibility criteria and are suitable for Glue.
100%, but that is the answer I wanted to hear, because our audience is the brokers. So the important part is that brokers are a very important part of your business.
Yes.
And when I looked at the app and how it worked, my question to you was, not all clients are the same, and you always have your clients with a little bit of a more complex health history. What do they need to know about navigating the process? Because when it comes to financial decisions, education is key, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think when we speak about digital is suitable for the ordinary course of business, for the vanilla type things. We like to think that the technology is there to deal with the mundane stuff, and the humans are there to deal with the complicated stuff. So we use an underwriting rules engine that has got very basic rules written into it. And when people respond to those underwriting questions, it's a process of triaging. And the complicated stuff ends up with our medical underwriters, and then they take it and deal with it personally. They are absolutely loving the process. And now that we're starting to get real business on books as opposed to, just planning for real business, they're so happy to have these complicated cases that are coming across our desks already. And, I'm thinking of some of the cases, and our head underwriter, he gets so involved. He's actually had one of the brokers respond to him going, just wow. That was the opening of her message. Just wow. She so enjoyed the engagement and the willingness to, delve deeper in and challenge the reinsurers to try and see if we could get better deals. So, it's really working really nicely at the moment.
It's really nice to hear about the human touch, because it is so critical in what we do. Talk to me about your product offering.
Rianet, at the moment, we've got different lines of business across the BPS group launching their own glue division. So we've got fiduciary, we've got short-term insurance, we've got the life insurance business, and shortly the investments business is launching next month, actually.
Okay.
So we really do have holistic solutions. I represent the insurance, life insurance part of the business, so I can really just speak about that in particular. We have a life product, we've got critical illness, a lump sum disability, and income protection. We've intentionally kept these quite vanilla because that's what enables the automation. So we've done our research to see what is it that's the most selected or the most needed in the market, and we focused on those particular features. And then we've augmented that with our profit share policy. So the ability to earn profit share on each of those life insurance products. So that's where we are differentiating ourselves, is through the profit share. I think of the simplification and standardization of the products as innovation, actually, because it's very easy to copy what everybody else has done and throw in all the bells and whistles. But to try and strip those out is actually quite difficult because you really have to weigh up each of those bells and whistles to see what is really needed to make sure that you keep it as straightforward as possible and understandable as possible.
Yeah. Feedback from brokers. You've been on a little bit of a roadshow, or you have had good engagements with your brokers before you officially launched even. What was the feedback?
I think there's been mixed feedback. So for some people that know what mutuality is and understand what a mutual is, they were our first supporters. So we saw those intermediaries who didn't meet the eligibility criteria on PPS being the first to apply, and their spouses. So we saw that. So that was very, very well received.
Yeah.
Some people have been skeptical and said, what is this mutuality? What is profit share? Why is that different from anything that anybody else has to offer? So there were some questions around that. I think from a product perspective, when we first went to market, I'll be very honest, our income protection didn't match up with what the competitors were offering. And we got that feedback, and within 2 to 3 weeks, we were able to enhance that offering. So we like to believe in these early days, well, not like to believe, we are. In these early days, we are flexible, we listen to the feedback, we incorporate it, we make those changes as quickly as we can, and take that to market as fast as we can. So we're very open to that, especially in these early days. We've got the capacity now to hear feedback and respond with things that I think the intermediaries are really interested in.
I know it's early days, but how's the uptake been since launch?
It's been slower than we would like to see, but the interest is certainly there. We've had certainly a lot of quotes, a lot of success in that, but we're taking it one day at a time, trying to address everything. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get through some of the compliance matters that we underestimated within those FSPs.
Yeah.
Cheapers, I didn't know. I knew that it was onerous, but I didn't know exactly how difficult and challenging that was going to be. But we've managed to get through that, due diligences and things that we had to get through. So I think once we've ironed all of that out, we'll certainly see a lot more traction.
And do you see that you are getting quotes from brokers and advisors that you've never dealt with, or is it your regulars that you hear from?
It's mostly the regulars. We're looking forward to the day where we do introduce new brokers into the system, because I think that's where the growth opportunity really sits. The brokers that are familiar with PPS are definitely going to PPS first for their client base, but we're looking to expand into totally new markets. So we're really looking forward to seeing the growth in new intermediaries joining us and getting to know us.
Yeah. Looking ahead, what are your key priorities for, say, the next year, 2 years?
I think firstly, it's expanding the product range. As I said, we're getting a bit of feedback from the market, and we want to respond with things that we can launch relatively quickly. We've got the investments business launching soon. We've got some very exciting, innovative touches that we want to introduce on the underwriting and the claims processes that I can't say too much about, but it's piloting things that nobody else is doing. So that's going to be very exciting. But really, it's about getting those new brokers to learn about us. So it's hitting the road and sharing the good news story, getting people to understand what profit share is all about and how valuable that is for members.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is actually a new brand, because you're not going to refer the whole time back to PPS, right? And a new brand do take time to just especially get clients used to a new brand, why are you referring me to someone completely new? It's not an established brand. It is, but it's not. So I suppose it's a combination of getting the feedback from the clients as well as the brokers.
Absolutely right. Yes. And I think the brand has been very well received. I think people really enjoy the engaging manner that we communicate. They enjoy the bright colors and the fun vibe that goes with glue. So that has been very, very well received. I mean, it's so awesome to get people seeing the billboards and sending us photos and saying, look what I saw on the side of the freeway today. So that's been a lot of fun. Nice. Or look what I saw at the airport this morning. Yeah, that has been a lot of fun to get that feedback from people.
Is there a specific, I know the answer, but maybe there is something more specific. Is there a very specific target audience you had in mind when you launched that you were hoping for?
Yes, so we're very clear that graduate professionals is PPS's market, but we are familiar with that market. We're sharing the license with PPS. That is a market that we are familiar with. So we believe that our target audience is professional people, people with a degree or a diploma, a household income of probably more than 30,000 Rand a month, and probably in the age group of 18 to 59, I suppose, is what we're targeting. It's more that it's just the risk profile that we understand best. Yes. But as we grow, as we learn more, I'm pretty sure that we would be open and more flexible to expanding beyond that.
Anything you want to tell the FAnews audience, which is the advisors, of who some of them deal with you and others not? Your message to them.
Our message is really, please come and find out more about us, engage with us, be a part of this startup business that you can help to craft solutions with together. I think that's really how we are going to turn up as an insurer that represents everybody and their needs. It's collaboration, and we need the intermediaries, we need their feedback, so that we can grow to be the best possible insurer to service them.
Thank you for your time, Michele. It's just really lovely talking, and well done on really creating a business, I think, long-term that will launch well into the future, because the mutuality concept just makes so much sense. I can speak for myself as a PPS client, and I'm not supposed to do it, but the mutuality concept is great, and I'm glad that you have expanded that into a wider audience.
Thank you so much.